used to dance on the 8 count music for
Right.
8 counts, and for me it's like 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you have your eights. But for me, the biggest challenge at the beginning was to dance in 3 counts and 1, 2, 3 on the 8 count music, and for me that was very disturbing because I was like, the 4 is missing. It felt very unnatural because I was so used to like follow the 4 or 8 counts that it was
Right.
really difficult for me to get into that rhythm.
Okay, here we are at the N123 studios with one of my guests, and this is Faustine Lavie. And
Hi,
how you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh man, as I say before, I'm living my best life,
Nice.
and yes, I'm doing all the things that I love to do. So yeah, things are really good. But I know that with you, you're pretty busy. You're
Yes, I'm
with
very busy. Yes.
very, very busy. You have a very extraordinary life, and I'm sure that you've made it be that way. You've kind of geared yourself to go there. I think what we'll do is go straight into the questions, and
Hmm.
nothing crazy or whatever. Feel free to ask questions if you're not sure of something or what have you.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing is, as a new generation or new gen hustle dancer, what do you find is your biggest challenge?
I mean, for me, it's I don't know if it's as a new gen dancer, but more as a dancer in general. It's For me, it's always like getting there and connecting with people, other people there. I think this is my challenge. I feel I tend to like dance a little bit on my own sometimes. It's getting better, I think, but especially when I started, because I come from a very different background where you kind of like connect, but you don't really have a lead and follow. For me, this is my challenge every day to not take over the lead when I dance hustle. As a new generation, I don't think I have challenges as a young person because I like to connect with everyone. I like to connect with people my age, but it's also very interesting to be with the older generation, the OGs, to hear their stories. I also come from a background where you learn a lot from dancers before you. So
Right.
I'm used to that because all my ballet teachers and everyone were way older than me, and they were like very strict and a lot of things like this. So I'm used to interact with different generations. I feel in the different fields that I evolved into. So I don't feel like the generational thing is a big issue for me. I like to connect with different people with different experiences, different backgrounds, different stories, and it's very interesting. So yeah.
You've been dancing now for hustle. You've been
Yes.
dancing not really a long time, what, like two years
Three
maybe?
it's gonna be 3 years in like May, June, so like almost 3 years, yes.
So coming from and we'll talk about this too later
Mhm.
on, you come from a dance background, of course, but especially in the beginning and towards that part where there's for everyone, there's always this hurdle that you get over, and then things start to become a little bit easier to
Mhm.
to process. How did you feel that working with you when you were dancing hustle and learning it and getting, I'm sure, a lot of information because you're in the new style hustle arena as well as the Latin hustle arena, and so I wonder if those things are challenging as well. Tell us a bit more about that.
I mean, I don't know if I would consider myself new style. I started because some of my friends that do hip hop or house dance were going to block parties during the summer, and I followed one of them, and I was like, "Oh, I love hustle. This is great," and I discovered it this way. But I don't really consider myself new style because I very quickly went into like the social and started wearing heels and all this thing, Latin
Right.
hustle and like learning from the OGs more than like new style. I've already like considered myself new style, so it's an interesting dynamic, I think, as a younger person, because a lot of younger people doing hustle are new style, so it's a bit of like navigating being me with those people. But I just you have to be. I think we have to be open minded and just like very flexible. And like I think at least what I'm trying to do is to be like flexible with people and adjust myself depending on what and sweet and their background, and I'm just going with the flow, you know. So, but yeah, when I started Hustle, it was a lot of information. So I was like, what is going on? uh,
Right.
yeah, it was a lot of like the lead and follow part was very difficult because I was turning wherever I wanted to turn, and the leaders were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, just turning, whatever.
Right.
You know, it's yeah, that was challenging. The rhythm was something challenging for me as well because I think, you know, coming from a dance background is helpful for a lot of things, but you also come with already like some habits that you have from your other dance styles. And I had to like break some of them to get better at Hustle because I was so used, of course, I'm used to dance on the 8 count music for
Right.
8 counts. And for me, it's like 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you have your eights. But for me, the biggest challenge at the beginning was to dance in 3 counts and 1, 2, 3 on the 8 count music. And for me, that was very disturbing because I was like, the 4 is missing. It felt very unnatural because I was so used to like follow the 4 or 8 counts that it was
Right.
really difficult for me to get into that rhythm and yeah, just let other people lead me. So that was my biggest
Right.
challenge. And it was a lot of information because also I think as a younger person, especially a girl, and you show up and everybody's like, who's that? And then everybody's like trying to dance with you and teach you stuff everywhere you go. And I was like, okay, like so much information coming from literally everyone, and people that I didn't know, people that so it was a little bit overwhelming at first, but you know, I love learning. I love dance most of all. So it was good for me. I mean, I was happy that everybody was so willing to be like, do this, do that, do this, do that, and like help me out in this like, new journey because I was kind of struggling at the beginning.
Yes, I could imagine the struggle, especially with, as you say, your connection or your association, more so than not, with everyone, all the generations. I see you at a lot of the events, and these events are either solely, Latin hustle, or some people just call hustle, whatever. But then with new style, which is coming from a different place, more interpretive and things like that, and with you taking the role of not just a follower but also a leader, and we'll talk a little bit more about that
kind
too.
of, kind
Yeah,
of.
later. Yeah, but you challenge yourself in that regard. That's refreshing. That's good to see that someone is as new as you are, taking on these roles and expressing yourself through this dance. And I know that you feel that there are more things to do and all that, but I see you at a lot of events, even at the New Style Hustle battles. You put yourself out there, and so I was wondering what those challenges were. I'm glad you mentioned that 8 count confusion, because it's really a 3/4 dance and 4/4 time, and that's difficult if you're used to just working on eights. Everything is the 8
I
count,
think it might be easier for people that actually never danced before and are not
right?
familiar with counting the music. Maybe it's easier for them, but for me, being used to a certain thing, it was like deconstructing what I knew and breaking my habits to like get new habits. That was
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. And
But I also wanted to, I think it was like, I like also going to the new style. But I think it's just like, it would be nice as a younger person to like try to like bring communities together. Because yeah, when I go, it's funny because sometimes when I go to this new style event, they're like, "Oh, you're more like the ballroom hustle," you know. And my mom is like, "Well, I kind of, I don't know if you can call it like this, but you know, it's like yes, we're different, we're doing different things, but we also like have a common passion. You know, we all love dancing, we all love
right.
hustle, so it would be nice." I am into different events because it's nice to bring communities together and try different things and like even if the dance is evolved in different directions, like it's nice to be part of like both sides.
Yeah, I think that the way things have been going, especially of late, the last, well, I would say more post COVID, because my return to hustle wasn't really until after New York opened, after COVID, and I'm seeing the different sides of the fence and seeing how they are coming together. I mean, for me, I know that one of the really great places in New York is, Imperial Ballroom with Sarah's
Yes.
Hustle Club. And that's a wonderful event because you have all these not only intergenerational, but also multi approaches to dancing hustle. And, in my opinion, I like to see the new style dancers assimilate into Latin hustle and grabbing that, since Latin hustle is more structured and has more of a historical focus. But either way, it's just such a nice thing to see. And when I see someone like you who has been paying attention and has been, even with your busy dance life, because I think you dance probably, what, 20 hours a week? I mean, 20 hours a day.
Yeah, I don't
you
even
know,
know.
including your social dancing, I mean, you dance a
Yes,
lot, I have to say.
yes.
And so, since I'm there, and I mentioned this earlier, you've taken on both lead and follow roles. What was your goal when you started leading, and is it the same now?
I think I was that when I started leading, I was just curious about it, and I just wanted to learn, like out of curiosity and to see how it felt. And also, I like learning new things. I like challenging myself, so that was also a new challenge. I think the more I do it, the more I'm like, it's interesting to learn how to lead because I think it makes me a better follower. I think it's good to know the other side to become better yourself at your main role, let's say. So I think when you're a leader, learning how to follow can help because you also see how the follower feels when you lead something wrong and when you lead certain movements. And I think as a follower, knowing what the leader is doing is also helpful. So I think the more I do it, the more like they fit each other, like, of course, I'll be a better follower forever than a lead, I think, but then I think it's helping my following to know how to lead. And also, it's because you can dance with more people when you how to do both, or it's connecting with also more people if you want to dance floor.
You tend to dance more too, right? Because
Yes, also, yeah, that's the
right,
fun part.
yeah,
Yes.
your night is filled with dancing more. Because
Yes.
okay, I'm done with this follow. Let me go lead somebody.
Yeah, it's
And
also nice because I feel like following, like, because you have to keep the end 1, 2, 3 the entire time. You're moving a lot, you're turning a lot, and sometimes it's very tiring. I think the leading part is you have to work a lot, but it's a little bit less tiring physically, I would say. So, at least for me on my part. So I think sometimes it's a good. I'm like, okay, I'm getting tired. Let's just lead for a few minutes, so I can actually make my brain more tired, but my body can rest a little bit.
I can't believe that you're saying you're using leading as your rest time.
It's not, it's my physical
Kind
rest
of,
time.
no, kind of,
Yeah, kind
right?
of. It's my
Yeah,
physical rest time, but I have to use my
right,
brain
right.
more when I'm leading. So then it's
Yes,
like, and
yes.
then when my brain gets overwhelmed, I'm like, let's go back to following so I can rest my brain.
Right, right. So you kind of rest both your brain and your body at different times.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a good balance.
Yes, yes, it is. Yeah, I can see that. And I feel that, as you mentioned, followers do a lot of work. They're constantly moving, constantly hitting all of the counts. With leaders, good leaders, great leaders, hit the count most of the time, but there
Yes.
are times where they have the weight changes, but they're not really moving their feet. The weight changes happens in a very subtle way.
Yeah.
But for followers, they constantly have to be moving, and that's tiring. And even though I'm not really a follower, or I've followed maybe a half a dozen times, and I'm like, man, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like on one dance, and I'm like,
Yeah.
my
It keeps you
boy,
in shape. Keeps you in shape.
I can imagine. I can imagine. You're a career dancer.
Mhm.
Tell us about that life and how it intersects with dancing hustle.
It's a great life. It's also a very challenging life. So I started with ballet originally from the age of 3. And my dream was to be a professional ballerina in one of these like big companies and stuff. And life decided otherwise because the ballet world is it's a very tricky world. It can be very unhealthy at times. Body types and body shaming is one of the main reason why this career didn't happen for me. It was really difficult in my teenage years. Like I had like really difficult years because of that. And so I transitioned into modern dance and then later on contemporary, which is now what I do the most. I perform the most contemporary. Of course, I still take ballet classes and so because it's kind of like the base of it. So you need to like stay ballet
Right.
trained. But now I perform and I work mostly for contemporary dance companies. So this is my main style, let's say it like this. And it's difficult because nowadays there's not that many companies that can offer full-time jobs to dancers because subvention, grants, everything. It's not very founded by anything. Like they're struggling money wise, so then they cannot hire dancers permanently. So it's a lot of like freelance work, then see for this company and then this company, and then for 6 months I have like 15 projects at once, and then for 2 months it's like, oh, nothing is going on, and then it's very unstable. So it's like that's the difficult part of it. But then I'm dancing all the time. I'm doing what I love every day. So dance has been part of my life since I was 3. So I don't remember my life without dance. It's part of me, it's like I don't know who I am without dancing, basically. So it's interesting. And like hustle, just I think it came to me randomly. It just happened to me. And like, some people started because they like the music, or because they like this, or like, specific things about the hustle. For me, it's just I like dance in general. So I think I could have hustle happened to me. I didn't go to hustle. Hustle happened to come to me in a certain way. So, and I just loved it. And for me, it's like, it brings me joy. It's a little bit addictive. Sometimes I have to be like, I should probably not go out that much, because I also have to wake up at like the next morning you go take ballet class. So I should probably go to bed. But, it's like, it's amazing. And like it goes, I think one feeds the other one. So like ballet helps my hustle, like contemporary dance also helps my hustle. And now that I do hustle and like a different type of like partnering, in a way it also helps me in my contemporary dance and stuff. And I'm also a choreographer, so it also gives me new perspective and new ideas from my contemporary dance choreography. So I think they fit each other well. It's just, yeah, at times it's a little bit difficult to jungle between everything, because I have to wake up in the morning to go dance, do that, and at the end of the day, after having how many hours of dancing, I'm exhausted. But I'm like, well, there is this social life we want to go. Let's go back out and dance more. Like after like 10 hours, let's go and do more dancing. So it's like
Right.
sometimes it's just it can get a little bit overwhelming, but I love it. So
Yeah, well, I think you're young enough to be able to juggle that,
yes, for
physically and
now, yeah.
mentally and all that. Yeah, for now, like, if you add on, 15, 20 years, it may be a different story.
Yes,
Maybe. I don't, some people, they have, I don't want to say addiction or obsession, something healthy in between the two, where they have to be dancing because it really uplifts their life. It's great for the brain, it's great for the mood,
yeah.
dancing in general, and being in a social situation too, and dancing in a coordinated way with someone speaks volumes into how your mental health is, really benefits from that.
Yes, to be honest, like for now it's great, but eventually I don't think my hours of sleep will be sustainable when I get older. I will have to like find a way to sleep more and get some more recovery time. For now, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I've seen you at several Hustle Weekender events. Is competition the focus? And if not, tell us what you gained from that experience.
Yes, I mean, is completion the focus? I don't really know. It's like I think the whole thing is the focus. Like if I go, why not compete? But at the same time, if I don't compete, why to go just for socials where I can have socials in New York? So I think it's both. So yeah, I go for all aspects, like competition, but also socials, and also meeting people from different places, because I think in this event is the best place to connect with communities from different countries and different cities. And I think that's what I enjoy the most in this event. But that competition is like, I like it and I hate it at the same time. It's a little bit of love-hate relationship. I don't know, because I'm very competitive. So I'm like, when I go out there, I'm like, I want to do my best and stuff. And if it doesn't work out, then I'm a little bit mad at myself, So like, you could have done this better, you could have done that there. I'm also very hard on myself. I think that's because of all the dance training, the background that I have. I see all the imperfections all the time, and I hate watching at videos of me. Like it's like I see all the things that are wrong. Like a lot of people is funny because a lot of people love my arms and my styling, but when I look at them, I'm like, my fingers are weird. This is weird. Why is my arm like this? I see everything that could go completely wrong. So competition is like teaching you how to be like resilient. I think, which is good. It's teaching you how to like surpass yourself, like go beyond your limit. It's teaching you also how to like present yourself in front of people. Not that I don't know that because I perform, but performing and competing is a two different feeling. So
Yes.
yeah, I think performing you have to do your best on stage, of course, but with competing, there's something that's like even more, because you're trying to like you're competing with other people as well. So it's a little bit like a different feeling. Although for me, when I do competition, I try to take it as competing against myself. So trying to do better this one time than the time before. So, small steps at a time, like maybe let's try to improve this part first. And then once this gets there at the next competition, I can focus on improving something else that I didn't like the previous time.
Right.
So I think competition is forcing myself to like really get into the details of hustle and how to like improve in like small little ways and how to like keep pushing the dance and like what can I do there every single time.
And so you're
But at
using these
social, don't like I try to be careful about what I do in socials too, but also in socials, you want to have fun, you don't want to overthink. It's so competition was really for me, I think, the time where I'm like, okay, I have to work on this because I know this competition is coming and this is not going well, so I have to fix this before the next competition. So I think it's a way for me to just get better instead to push myself.
Yeah. So you're using these videos not only to look at yourself and go, "Oh, that's ugly. This is ugly. I hate this," but you also use these critiques of yourself for improvement. You go, "Oh, well, I hate the way my fingers look. Let me work on that." Or I hate
Yes.
the way I'm looking, and you work on that. Do you feel the same way when you see videos of yourself dancing socially?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, my
Yeah.
arms and my feet, and I'm like, why is my feet here? And like, yes.
Right.
It's like, I think it's a natural instinct. I'm like, I know it's just social and I'm just having fun, but I'm always like, when I watch the videos, I'm always like, ugh, what is that?
Yeah, and then if you're like me and you're going, well, other people are seeing this too, and you're like, oh man, don't tell me if they see what I see and blah blah blah. It makes me crazy and all that. And like myself, sometimes to be honest, I don't watch a lot of videos. I shoot a lot of videos, but I don't watch a lot of videos. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't watch videos just oh that's so nice, that's so cool, unless I'm being directed to, hey, check out this video. But when I do see videos, a lot of the people that are in the New York City social scene, like yourself, and you and I had this conversation before about spotting, which is one of the important aspects of people who are dancing. And you had told me something interesting. So tell us about spotting. And for those of you who are watching this and don't understand what spotting is when you're turning and you watch the person that you're turning or the audience, whatever, your head comes back and you use that as a focus. You don't do that. And tell us why again.
Yeah, I do not do it enough. I think a lot of people, yes, and it's been a problem for me in all styles. So even in ballet, my teachers were like, you have to spot, you have to spot, you have to spot. And for some reason, it's just, I think I'm so used to like turn without spotting too much at this point that when I try to actually spot a lot, it gets me a little bit like out of balance. I'm like, oh, this is disturbing because I'm so used to like turn without
Right.
spotting that much.
Right.
The only time that I realized, the only time where I really, really spot is when the leader is like traveling and I have to follow the leader
Oh,
while I'm
okay.
turning because I have to see where the leader is so I can follow
Right.
him, so I have to actually look at the leader. But
Right.
the rest of the time, yes, I don't spot enough. Yes, I'm very aware of that.
That's funny because so for you, it's the reverse, right? Sometimes people, you're like, because when you're done, let's say if you have multiple turns, when you come out of it, you're not dizzy. Other people, they get multiple turns, they're not spotting, which spotting helps to not make you dizzy, right? But for you, it's the other way around right now. If you do spot, then when you come out of the multiple turns, you feel a little a little woozy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's just a habit actually because
yeah.
in Bali we do similar turns but by ourselves, like without the partner, and we just turn by ourselves and slow shinny turns. And the same thing, we would do like entire diagonal across the floor of shinny turns, and I would like I spot a little bit. It's not I don't keep my head fully low, but I don't do it like I guess as much as for me.
Right.
And I just don't get dizzy. So I don't know if it's because I've been doing these ballet turns for like so many years without spotting, and my body is just used to it. So
Yes, yes. Do you like multiple turns? Do you like being spun?
yeah, I love
Yeah.
turning. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
and that's the thing. That's why I think that's the main reason why I even brought it up, that time that we were, I don't know, in the car or somewhere. And I was like, I noticed you don't spot, but you look great when they're turning you. You look the same as if you were spotting. So, that was very interesting.
I think it's just a core.
Oh, well, yeah,
Just your
well,
core stay on your leg, But yeah,
yes, yes. And it's funny that you mentioned that too, because nearly every single person I've spoken to on Let's Talk Hustle has mentioned the core. has mentioned the physicality, which is really important to really execute well, right? I mean, you have to try, if you can, have your body in shape. Being toned or having strong musculature in certain areas of your body helps good execution of the dance. So you look better, you can turn better and things like that. So
I mean, yeah, it helps a lot with technical movement, but that's also in all styles of dance. If you focus your core, there's a lot of things you can do because it's all already this. So you have to keep your core engaged. It's just, I think it's like then you have to find the balance between having your core engaged but not getting too tense. It's like engaging your core, but also like keeping
yeah,
it freedom and like.
mm-hmm. I was a personal trainer for a long time. I'm technically a personal trainer, but I haven't trained anybody in a couple of years. But but one of the things that I've always told clients is that keep your core engaged all day long. Climbing stairs, walking down the street, whatever. People used to come up and pump me in the belly, and my belly was not soft. Not because I was, as they say, diesel or whatever, but because my core was engaged, most of the time.
For me, it's like, I think because I've been doing it since I was so young, it's kind of like an automatic habit at this point. But also, I don't think you know that, well, that I have a really fast resistance. Not just a small
You
one.
mentioned that to me, yeah.
Oh, I did? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a very, very bad one. And so if I don't keep my body engaged all the time, I look very like tilted to the side. So even this posture, I have to like be engaged at all time, otherwise I don't get ding. So it's like all my back and like my muscle, it's like I had to work for it, but like it's something that I have to do, otherwise it's really bad for like my posture.
So you keep yourself in check. You keep yourself in check all the time.
Yeah, but I don't even have to think about it at this point.
Yeah. I mean,
I've been doing it for so many years, but yeah, when I was a kid and I was walking in the street, my mom was always like, you're not straight, because I was leaning on the side a lot. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so annoying, because as a kid, it's annoying. You don't want to think about your posture, like, all the time. But I think it's actually helpful because now I just have it naturally. I don't have to think about it. Of course, if I really relax on the sofa, you're going to see my left shoulder drop. But just
but that's good. So you keep yourself in check.
If I start relaxing stuff when I dance, then I'm like leaning towards this, and it doesn't work. No. Trust me, in ballet turns, when I would turn on one leg, I have videos of me as a kid, and I still have some issues, same issues now. You see me like turning on one leg and ding, leaning to the side and falling on the side because of my shoulders. So I have to be very aware of what's going on in my body, and it's the same with hustle, with multiple spins and everything. If I'm not aware of that, then I'm going in weird direction.
Wow. It's weird how we see people in general and we don't realize the things that they are dealing with on a daily basis. And even yourself, you don't even think about it because it's been ingrained. You've trained yourself to be like this. Mm-hmm. But if you were to totally relax, these things that you mentioned would occur. And as we see each other, hey, Faustine, how you doing? Oh, yeah, everything's good. But there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I
think for a lot of people, yes.
Yes, for a lot of people. We're talking about the core and all that stuff, and I understand you're a certified yoga instructor.
Yes,
right?
I am.
How's that going, and has it helped you in dance?
Oh, it helps me a lot. Yes, a lot. For like strength, flexibility. My body feels much, much better when I do yoga. I feel much more open, and also it helps me for certain movement, like spinning, like core engagement. Of course, it helps a lot with my core and but also my arms engagement and stuff like this. And it's been helping me a lot specifically for certain tricks that I'm doing now with Michael, my partner.
Michael Petrosky,
yes.
Right.
And we're doing certain tricks, including the corkscrew or sit spin. And yoga has been helping me a lot with this because you have to be very toned here and holding your arm here. If it's all over the place, then it doesn't work. And while doing all the chaturangas, I'm like in the turn, and right. we're practicing with Calvin, Roche, and Norian comes, and so it's a bit sometimes if they're watching high of you guys. But Calvin is helping me a lot. And one day after I go more or less regularly to yoga depending on my schedule and how busy I am. But we had a practice one day. It was maybe after 2 weeks of me going to yoga every single day because I had a little bit of time. So every morning I was going to yoga. And all of a sudden my corkscrew became so much better. And Calvin was like, I don't know what you've been doing, but it looks much more like less all over the place, and you're much more centered and everything. And I was like, I think it's all the tracks wrong that I do in yoga
Right.
class. And he was like, that might be so, yeah, it definitely helps.
Nice, nice. It's funny too because it was this during the time when you posted that video, you were doing Mike was putting you through the
No, it's
corkscrew.
after. That was
This is
after.
after. So what I liked about that little video, right, that you posted, right? So you on there and I'm counting, right? I'm counting this, right? And then he goes, "Oh yeah, nice. Was that 10?" And you were like, "No, that's 11."
Yeah,
And it was.
it was, yeah. I think it was the first time that I was doing so many of them, like without losing my balance or with balance. It was a little victory, We still have a lot of things to practice about that because when you go faster, still improvements to make, but it was the first little victory about the Corkscrew. So
Yeah. I mean that particular movement is such a partner driven. I mean, your partner has to lead that perfect, and then you have to follow it perfect for it to look good.
yes.
So when you see anybody who watches and you see somebody doing corkscrews, especially the tight ones, not those big ones that you're doing like you're stirring a cauldron, those tight corkscrews,
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
yeah, it's very challenging. It is, and I don't come like I have a ballet contemporary background, but I've never done salsa, for example, because I knew about it. They do it a lot in salsa and stuff. So for me, it was like that was one of the movement that was like brand new for me. It's like something that I've never done before. So yeah, it's challenging, but it's getting there. We'll get there at it. Like I'm always like, keep working and we'll get there.
So you got recently certified, something like 6 months ago or somewhere around there?
Yeah,
right?
a few months ago, yes.
Are you actually teaching, or are you holding yoga sessions for people,
I
group
teach
sessions?
for now. I teach mostly privates.
Okay.
So I have few private clients that I teach. I don't teach in the studio yet. I want to find a job in the studio, but I haven't had the time to start looking at it. I have a million other things to do. So
Sure.
but eventually, yeah, I'd like to do book classes in the studio or something. But for now, I'm mostly doing privates.
Maybe what we'll do is put your IG tag on here,
Yes.
and then maybe people who are interested, if they want, who are in the city, of course,
Yeah,
who are interested in yoga and get some really good yoga from a great dancer.
Yes, please let me know. I'm available.
So coming to live in New York from France, what has been your greatest obstacle?
Yeah.
First off, how long ago was that? When did you
That
move here?
I moved in 2015, so almost
Oh,
9 years ago.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've been here for a
So
while.
it's been a while now. So at the beginning, I guess the language barrier was a big thing. Now not so much. I mean, it's still English. I have an accent. Sometimes my words are weird, whatever. But like,
I
it's fine. I
understand
think
you. I can hear you.
that's the most important.
Right.
So it's better. But at first that was a big challenge. I had a decent English when I came because I was learning English in school, but American accents and stuff like this was what's happening. I didn't understand anything. So sometimes it was a little bit overwhelming. That was the first challenge. Obviously, like the cultural difference is also it's not huge because I come from a country that's like kind of not similar developed, and like it's a Western country as well, so it's not as different that maybe from other countries, but still there is a lot of like interactions with people that are different. The way we address each other, especially people with it's a little different. So that was also a challenge. And then food. That's gonna sound very cliche, but the food was like it's
food's
still
a big thing, though, right?
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
It's still the bit saying, what is this? It's like
right. Is it still challenging? Because food is that's a big thing.
Like of course I miss certain things from France, like cheese and charcuterie and all these things. But I think it's also the most challenging here is like to eat healthy and well. It's like, I mean, not just healthy, but like good quality food. Like I think it's more difficult because there are different laws here than in France. For example, in France, there's a lot of things that are forbidden in the food that are not forbidden here. And it was like, what is this thing that you're adding in? This is, so it's more like being careful about what you eat. It's more complicated. You have to be more careful because in France, I can buy pretty much anything in the supermarket, and it's kind of okay. But like here, you have to be kind of careful. The meat is also it's also very expensive. Like also that like New York is expensive, so it makes it challenging as well. Yeah.
I remember, I might have told you this, that I visited France a couple times, and I remember that, wow, the food was so awesome. But even the frozen food, like I was served ratatouille.
Hmm.
It was frozen thing. Oh my God. I was like, this just came out of a bag. I was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
was like amazed. But everything from the snacks to to the main meals, the dishes. Oh my God, is there's a lot of care. I mean, it's a gastronomy country, so they really pay attention to how they not only prepare food, but how your body is going to process it.
Yes.
And so we can learn a lot from not just France, from a lot of other countries, because we're literally killing ourselves with the food that
Yeah.
are presented to Americans. Yeah. So, do you still feel that? I mean, because technically now you're a New Yorker. You've been here over 5 years, so
Yes.
you're a New Yorker, even though you're from France. But do you still find any other things that get in the way, transportation wise, or even with the dancing? Since your only social dance is hustle, right? You don't do any
Mm.
other social dance.
I do a little bit of West Coast swing. I don't have enough time to do it as much as I would like, because at some point I have to pick and choose my battles. Otherwise, I would not sleep anymore. But yeah, I do a little bit of West Coast swing as well. So yeah, and I've tried like a little bit of other things, but like seriously, like really only hustle. I don't think I don't think the fact that I'm French or like from a different country is like a problem in my dancing in general. It's just like, well, I think when we're on the dance floor, we all speak the same language anyway. It's been said a million times, but dance is the universal language you don't need to speak. So it's like everybody understands each other through the body and the movement. So I think you can connect with anyone. So I don't think culture or like, um, or even religion or like nationalities or anything is getting in the way in the dance. So I don't really feel like it's a challenge in my dancing. So the only challenge that I have is that I have to get this visa renewed every 3 years to be able to dance here. But that's a different story.
Yeah. Is it tougher now because you're not with a company or anything like that? How does that work for you?
So I am with companies, but I'm not with
Oh, you
full-time companies. Yes, I dance with
yeah.
companies, but not full-time, not a full-time one. So I have
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean.
many freelance ones. So it's a little bit tough. You need a lot of paperwork. You need to ask people for a lot of layers, a lot of proofs of employment, and you need press articles about yourself, which is the craziest part. You need recommendation letter, you need a sponsor, you need to print thousands of pages to bring to your lawyer. Yeah, it's a pretty big challenge, but it's worth it. Hopefully eventually I'll get the green card in a few years, and then this will be over. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Wow, I didn't realize you could do that. That's awesome to be able, because I mean, I imagine you want to stay because the
Yes.
opportunities and I mean, not the food, but the opportunities and you know, and your social life is
Yeah.
you have a pretty active social life and all that. So
Yes.
getting a green card, that's one less headache, one less thing to really, be concerned about, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So the green card process is very difficult. So I'm not looking forward to that, but hopefully if I get it, then always will be behind me. So
Uh, can you name dancers that inspire you, and what about them that make you feel that way?
so hmm, I really like, and it's not because she's training me, but I really like Roche.
Hmm.
For me, she's one of my favorite just because her timing is so on point, and she has time to like stay in her hand one before going for her 2, 3. It looks like no matter the speed of the music, it looks like the music is slow when she's dancing. Like that she has so much time to do her hand one, so much time to like do every single step, which I found absolutely amazing. And it's so smooth. It looks like she's just floating on the floor, and she makes it look so easy, and her arms and everything, yeah, looks really nice. And obviously I really like Veronica as well, just because of her like precisions. She's a good spinner, so I like watching her spin. As someone that likes to spin also, I want to spin like this, so
Right.
yeah. And she's also like, I like high heels too, so seeing Veronica being so comfortable in high heels, I'm like, okay, this is doable. You can keep your high heels in one day, you'll be as comfortable. Not that I'm uncomfortable, but
I don't think I've ever seen you in like sneakers or anything like
When I
that.
started, I was in sneakers before
Oh
I
yeah?
got my first pair of tennis shoes. Yes, it didn't last for
Ah, okay.
long because very quickly people were like, "You need to wear, you need to wear heels." So I didn't keep the sneakers for very long. But yeah, or when I'm in outdoors events, I wear sneakers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like Sunset
That's different.
Hustle, like
Right,
Macy's.
right.
It's
No,
just because the
that's
floor with heels, it's not possible.
yeah, yeah. It's hard to dance on that
Yes,
with heels.
yes,
Get your heels stuck in the hole there.
yes, exactly. Like not
In
fun.
between the stuff. But you mentioned Marianne Greenhouse, and she's such a wonderful. She's a joy to. When I dance with her, I'm laughing the whole time because she's just so her energy and
Yeah, her
her,
energy is
she's
amazing
such a
too.
happy person. But there's something that, okay, so when I came back to Hustle and I was encouraging Yolanda to get in Hustle, I said, you could do this dance, you should do it. And, she got with people to help her to learn and all that stuff. And then we would send each other videos and things like that. And then I ran across videos, educational videos that Lorianne and Calvin had, and they're on YouTube, of all the different dances that they teach and everything. And of course, there's a series for Hustle and all that. And there was something about her footwork that we couldn't name. I knew that there was something different about her dancing, and I couldn't really pinpoint it until I saw a particular video that she did, an instructional video on YouTube. It's like maybe 5 or 8 minutes long. And she didn't say the count, but the count is and 1, 2, and. So instead of hitting 3, she's hitting that step a half beat before 3, which gives her that much time, right? A whole beat before the end of the
Yeah,
end before 1. So it's a very, it's a modification of the Latin hustle, but that puts 2 syncopation in the dance as opposed to 1. And so
yeah,
when you see it done and the way she does it, and that gives her that time, that extra half a beat. It may not seem like it, but that extra half a beat or 1 beat from the end of 2 to the end before 1, that's significant. So when you bring up Lorianne, it's wonderful to watch her dance. Even with her entire career, she was dancing with Berta
yeah.
Pagan and things like that. She is just a wonderful dancer. I mean, don't get me started with Kelvin because I love the way Kelvin dances, especially when Kelvin is relaxed and not doing when he's getting his street on. Oh my God! I caught him one time dancing with Veronica at the Copa, and
The
it was
Copa.
all at the Copa,
Well,
right? When I was a host there, remember?
yeah, I remember, yes.
And so I caught them dancing, and Kelvin was you could tell he was super relaxed, and he was like, yeah, it looked like he was coming back from the 70s, you know? It looked awesome. Calvin's, they're both very suited for each other.
Yeah,
Very good. So yeah,
and they're also very good people. They're like every time Michael and I practice with them, they're so loving, encouraging. They're very strict. They're very picky on details of course, which is very needed. But they have such a good energy. It's always like a good atmosphere. It's never like heavy or anything. We're always so happy to be here. They're. And actually, Lorianne tried one thing with Calvin. They were like, there's something in your dance, in your like timing. And they were trying to get me to do this with like more time in my N1 and then go and then N1 and then go. And it's actually very difficult to do. She makes it look so easy, but it's very challenging.
right. So apparently you record yourself when you do these sessions, yeah.
Yes. Not
So
all the time, but most
yeah,
of the
but
time. Just you
so
see
these
what's
moments,
wrong
because
and
like recording yourself, doing the corkscrew, but these other moments to really, hone in on technique,
yes.
that helps a lot. What would be the best advice you would give to a new dancer to hustle?
Just don't give up. I know it's too challenging at the beginning, but keep practicing, keep working on the things you need to work, keep dancing with as many people as you can. That's also a thing. I think it's good because everybody dances differently, so don't get used to dance with only one person and get in your comfort zone, but try to dance with as many people as you can and just be open like a sponge. Try to get as many information as you can, and from people that are way more experienced that have been doing hustle for so many more years. It's the best way is just to be open, dance with everyone, learn from everyone, and keep practicing, keep working on it. It's like I think it's for all styles of this, not just for hustle. But the more you practice, the better you get. You know, it's everything in life in general. Like whatever
Right.
you want to do, wherever you start, just keep pushing, keep practicing, keep training, keep and keep trying new stuff. Keep experimenting. Like don't get in your comfort zone, because if you want to keep getting better, at some point you have to get out of your comfort zone. So that's my biggest advice.
Yeah. Mistakes are good. Mistakes
Mistakes are good. That's by making mistakes that you learn. So mistakes are
right.
good. It's better to try and make a mistake than not try,
And stay stuck in that little bit of information that you have.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I find too that especially those people who are getting training either in classes or through privates or both, that they need to be out there socially, dancing socially.
I learned mostly on the social floor. I never really took classes that much. Like
Mhm.
now, of course, because Michael and I are doing a routine, we need the routine. We need to practice the routine. We need the help of Calvin and Marianne. And I think from a certain point to reach more subtleties, and details and get better, you need a pair of eyes that from outside, like a feedback from someone that knows better than you. But like at the beginning, I learned mostly by going out to socials all the time, dancing. I was barely sitting down. I'm still barely sitting down, but
Yeah. Yeah.
dancing. And I've learned something from my other techniques is like, even if you get tired, you have to keep dancing, because that's when you get tired, then you actually get there. Because when you're tired, or like it's not a good day and things are not working out, it's when you overcome these difficulties, that's when you get there. The days where you feel super comfortable and everything is going perfectly well are not the days you're getting there. The days you're getting there are the days where you have to like challenge yourself and like, I need to get through this because today is difficult, but I need to get through this, and that's how you get there. So that's what my teachers used to tell me when I was a kid in ballet, like all styles of dance. And I think it's something that you can also apply to hustle.
Do you feel afterwards when you have those types of days? Do you feel like a sense of accomplishment? Like, oh my God, I had such a great time dancing and I was dead.
I mean, yes and no, it depends. Sometimes it's also like, damn, today was rough, like especially when we do the routine with Michael. Some days spins are going great, and some days for some reason it's not working. Like especially one leg turns, like attitude turns, or like corkscrew. It's just like some days it's just not working, and it's just so frustrating. And you get out of practice, and you're like, damn, like why isn't it working? But it's okay. You keep practicing. You keep trying to find a way to make it work, even though it might not work during the entire practice. And then you go back the next time, and it goes better. It doesn't go better, but keep overcoming it. So like sometimes it's like when it's difficult and you make it happen at the end, you feel a sense of accomplishment, and you're like, yes, finally, But some days it's just you get out of there and you're like, ugh, this is so depressing, like, but then it's just like, it's okay. It's just this one moment. It doesn't like, it's not significant on the long terms, so it's like you go
Right.
back the next day and you're in a better mood then.
Yeah, when you don't get it all the time, or when it's when you're stuck in a particular thing, I guess you got to let it go for a while, right? Like
Yeah, also that.
you can't,
Sometimes it's like, okay, this is not working. Let's just move on to something else and go back
right,
to this in a few days or something. Yes.
right. There was I have a like a mambo background, right? I was into
Yes.
salsa for a couple decades, and during the time when I was in the Air Force, and then I came back to New York, I was exposed to this thing called the Mambo Society, and it was just a gathering of street dancers dancing to salsa music. And we were learning to dance mambo, learning to dance on two. There were these two ladies that had like a shines list. Shines are like fancy footwork that you would
Yeah,
do during the break, right? So they had a list, and then we would go through each one like a choreo almost, right? And there was one movement called the Cuban drop. I think it was number 5 on the list, and I just couldn't get it. And it was a 25-step shine routine. So we would do that over and over and over and over and over again. We would do that for hours. It was a lot of fun. But number 5, right, Cuban drop, I would do the, like, you have to kind of let your hips slip, and then if I would explain the mechanics, there's a lot of things going on, right? Some isolations and things like that. But all
Yeah.
I did was just a drop, right? I did, okay, I put this, it's in the routine, I'm gonna do that. Fast forward a couple of years, more than a couple of years. This was like 1989. By 1998, I moved to LA in 97. 98, I'm dancing with complete abandon. I was like, yeah, I was getting down. I was like, it was fun. And it was time for shine. And then I did the Cuban drop, and it was exactly the way it's supposed to. And I was like, ooh, like, and I like, if my head could explode and have fireworks, that would have happened. And sometimes there's just certain things that now I'm not training all the time, right? It's not something I would do all the time. But sometimes something just doesn't stick.
Yeah.
But you just got to leave it in your arsenal until you could dust it off and go, let me try this. And then all of a
Eventually,
sudden
well, some things take longer than others.
right. So this is about the time that I get to ask most of the people that I have this conversation with in Let's Talk Hustle this one question. And that question is, what is Latin hustle to you? Tell me your thoughts about it, what you feel it is, any educational thoughts, or have your exposure to it. Talk to me about Latin hustle.
For me, it's a lot of joy. That's the biggest thing. For me, Latin hustle is joy. It's freedom. It makes me feel very free on the dance floor. I just love the movement. It's a little bit of an addiction in some ways. So it's just, for me, the biggest word is joy and freedom. And there's also a huge community aspect about it that's important to me as well. Actually, I watched the podcast that you did with Taylor and Julian, and Taylor mentioned that as someone coming from another country with no family, it's important to have a community. And I messaged her afterwards, and I was like, I feel it because I'm in the same situation. So, so for me, it's also a little bit the same. It feels nice to connect with people, to share something that I love with people that also love the same thing. And there is a sense of like family, like with good times, sometimes they're more difficult, maybe for competition or things like that. There is a little bit of everything. And it's just, it's joy, freedom, and community is like, because things, if I had to describe Latin hustle in 3 words, I don't know.
But how about a distinction between, let's say, Latin hustle and New Style hustle? What is the distinction between the two for you?
So I think New Style hustle is a little bit more about the creativity and less about the technique of hustle. There is an 1, 2, 3, but there is more. I know they dance on a lot of like more different type of music with no rhythm on the music sometimes, or more lyrical music and stuff. They're more focused on, I think, creating new movements maybe, or like adding some other styles of dance into the hustle. Well, I think for me, Latin hustle is more Latin dance, like where women are wearing heels. There is a very big sense of connection between lead and follow. There's a big sense of timing, of posture, how to hold your body up. While in your style, also it's a little bit more free. You don't really have to be that careful about your posture or the way you place yourself. So I think it's different in that way.
Nice. So we're pretty much at the end of our little conversation. Anything you want to add? Anything coming up, or any thoughts that we haven't covered that you might want to let people who are watching know, either about you or about hustle in general?
I mean, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone in the community for welcoming me so well, and also being willing to dance with me, especially at the beginning was when I didn't know anything. And now I look back at videos of me from 2.5 years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? It's terrible. I know we all have to start somewhere. So I just, I just appreciate the welcoming. I appreciate everybody for their good feedback and their love. I know a lot of people, I get a lot of compliments from people saying that I dance very well and stuff. And it means a lot for me, for someone that hasn't been doing hustle for that long. I think a lot of people think I've been doing hustle for so many years or something, but not really. So for me, it's it's still kind of new in some ways, So that. And also, I tend to be very busy on the dance floor, and a lot of people I think might want to dance with me, but they don't. They're like, "You're too busy. You were dancing the entire time." So please come grab me whenever you see me. I will be happy to dance with everyone. So yeah, don't hesitate to come ask me to dance, because sometimes I'm a little bit overwhelmed. There's so many people to dance with. It's hard to dance with everyone, but yeah, I'll be happy to try my best at least to dance with as many.
When's your next event? What's the next event you're going to go to?
Actually, it's the big one, Swing Dance America.
Okay. That's next month, right? That's May?
Next month, May 2nd to 5th, I think.
Okay. I guess you're going to be competing there too, right?
Yes, and the goal is to do the routine for the first time next weekend also.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes. So that will be a big one for us. Yes, big deal. And I'm also looking forward to do a little bit more of West Coast Swing, because I don't have the time to do it as much in New York. So I'm looking forward to have time to do it also a little bit more. And yeah, so I think it's going to be a great one. It's my first time at the event, but I heard a lot of good positive things about it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we're gonna have a decent contingent of hustle instructors there. There's about maybe 20, maybe I want to say 15
there
to
is
20.
I'm not really sure, but there's
there's a
good
lot
amount of people. Yes.
Yeah, even Mark and Rose are going to be there.
Yes.
Going.
You're not coming to this one?
I'm not. No, I can't. I can't do it. One of these years, I'm going to everything. Mark my word. I'm going to go to everything. It's hard to go to
everything. There's so many different events. It's difficult. There's a lot of things going on.
But it's still a lot easier than Southside, because the Southside there's something going on. Multiple events per weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But about I think the first Salsa Congress was 1997. So that was the first one and the only one. And after about 5 years, there was about as many congresses 5 years later as there are now for hustle. But now they have it in every country. Every weekend there's a salsa event. A weekender everywhere in the world. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes, it's a big community too. So
it's a lot bigger. But they've had a lot going for them. So I can envision a big growth with hustle too. It's not going to happen right now. I have my crystal ball is pretty good. It's been accurate so far. So yes, but
I hope so,
yeah. So when the time comes, I'm going to all the events. Because I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, me too. I want to go to Japan, but it's not going to happen this year, unfortunately.
Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's good, and I'm excited for all the ones that happen, even if I'm not going, because I'm really excited about the growth, the community of hustle growing, and it is growing every year, every month. We have more things happening, more interest, more stability. It's happening. So with things like this, that we're able to sit down and talk to each other about hustle, and there's videos, and I'm not the only one who's doing videos and stuff like that. People are trying to get everyone else connected. And so look, last year was the very first hustle. It was called Hustle into Paradise, but now it's Hustle in Pompano, which I'm going in a couple of days. And it's a great thing to be able to go to events like that. In this case, it's more like a weekend social. There aren't that many competitions. There aren't that many workshops and things like that. But all the people that are going there, I think last year there was something like in the neighborhood of 40 hours of dancing. Oh, wow. For the weekend. That's a lot of dance. So,
that's a lot of dancing.
So anyway, I'm going to bid everyone adieu. Before we let go again, I want to say a big thank you to Faustine Lavie to break away from her very busy schedule.
Thank you.
And and so folks, please click the subscription button, and also hit that notification bell so you can know whenever any of the Let's Talk Hustle episodes come up, but also all the videos, over 6,300 videos to date that you could watch of folks that are social dancing as well as dance demos. And that's it.
Thank you, Mike. Bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike Bello here in the M123 studio with the Let's Talk Hustle podcast. I want to give a quick shout out to New Circle Films, who were so gracious to sponsor me with product, especially this particular boom arm for the microphone. as well as some lighting. So yeah, it's really helped to give a greater look to the podcast. So thank you, New Circle Films. And of course, the other shout out, tongue in cheek to N123, because the podcast is residing in the N123 channel. So that's it, folks. See you in the next video.